I'll blink my way through it.
That's your problem, not mine.
I just told you about it. I don't want you to solve my problem. I just want you to hear about my problem and do fucking nothing.
Do nothing.
Because I'm going to blink it out.
Okay. I mean, arguments are stupid. Like, no,
Yeah.
You can't have another animal.
I know, I hate when you say that to me.
I know. And then you get all irrational.
I know. Because I feel like we have so much love.
I'm an adult.
Give another
I
animal.
can do whatever I want. If I'm going to
Get me a fucking raccoon.
I'm glad we never have insanely irrational arguments like that.
Yeah.
I mean, arguments are stupid. Like, no, You can't have another animal.
I know, I hate when you say that to me.
I know. And then you get all irrational.
I know. Because I feel like we have so much love.
I'm an adult.
Give another
I
animal.
can do whatever I want. If I'm going to
Get me a fucking raccoon. Stop telling me no and just find them.
They're out in the woods. Go get me a raccoon. Shoot the mama, grab the baby.
Oh God, I'm never gonna be able to open a raccoon rescue now.
Nope. Not at all.
Oh goodness. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, what do we have to really argue about?
I don't know.
Over this many,
I don't know.
It is really just like stupid. No, I don't want to go to that restaurant. you know?
Or,
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think over, the last 20 years or so, we've figured out how to communicate with each other so well. They're just discussions, not arguments.
yeah, exactly.
It's just sitting down and each of us saying what we think and then figuring out where we go from there.
Yeah. I was trying to think about it. I'm like, what argument that I could remember? I just can't remember any.
That you brought me coffee and not a kitten in the morning?
Yeah, but then first hour rule kicks in and I walk away and don't give a fuck.
No, that's true.
See?
Yeah, I don't know. We just don't really have arguments about it anymore.
No. Because if you have a conversation, like if something bugs you, you literally will say something before it ever gets to the point where it is an argument. I feel like an argument's like you're raising your voice, you're both going back and forth, you're very frustrated,
Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening, and you're just,
you're just
yelling.
Talking at each other.
Yeah. And then you have to talk over the other person because they won't stop talking. Mm-hmm. And you feel like, I got to get my point out because you just made your point.
Yeah, you're like waiting. You're not listening to the other person. You're just waiting for them to be done talking so that you can say the shit that you want to.
That's a good point.
But it is. Like, it's usually two people are talking at each other and they're both thinking about the point they're going to make and why they're right. And they're not listening to the other person.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why it's just completely ineffective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, and then the other thing is, like, if you're with someone, right? Mm-hmm. And you're married to him or dating him, whatever, and you live with them, and you can't tell that they're probably fucking pissed off about something. And then you be like, hey, I can tell that you're very frustrated right now. With whatever. Like, you're in a bad mood. Easy to tell.
Generally.
What did I do?
Or what didn't I do?
What didn't I do?
Yeah.
So it's almost like it can be a discussion, but it's not like it always has to be the other person that brings it up. You'd be like, dude, I can tell you're kind of pissed off. Probably because I just did this.
Or I haven't been helping you do this.
Or yeah, whatever.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I think that you should be able to tell. If somebody's passive aggressively walking around the house and angrily doing something,
Yeah, I mean, if you're...
Don't just ignore it.
Yeah.
Go and be like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, if you're angry, like, cleaning, I'm obviously going to wait until you're done cleaning, and then I'm going to bring it up. But I'm going to bring it up either way. I'll be like, nah, I'm gonna let her finish the kitchen, then I'll say something.
I'm going to put my other headphone in so that I can act like I did not hear anything that she's smashing dishes around right now, being angry.
Yeah, you just gotta avoid fucking all those clanging dishes everywhere.
She's
be like,
angrily doing dishes. Wait till she's done.
At least let her load the dishwasher.
At least the dishes will be done before you're yelled at.
No, the best thing is like you walk in and be like, I got it, and then you push the button. Oh, that would seal it. And then walk away.
I love when you're like, can I help you cook? And I'm like, yeah. And you're like, great, I'll be right back. And then you fucking leave.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's super
person,
helpful.
It's a one person thing. That's why I clean. I do the dishes. I clean everything. I'm like your goddamn sous chef, just handing you shit. It's a one person thing. You make it clear when I go need to cook. You're like, hey, will you go cook? I'm like, cool, come help me. You're like, it's a one person job. I'm like, you're right, it is. I'm glad like you acknowledge that.
It's only usually a 2-person job towards the end when everything's coming together.
No, that's fine.
Pulling stuff out of the oven.
There's 3 seconds.
Getting 3 seconds that I can't fucking find you. 'Cause you're gone.
Standing in the living room playing with the dogs. Dishes are done. I don't know what you want from me. Figure this out.
Figure out how to finish cooking all by yourself.
I'm not here to multitask for you.
That's funny.
I don't know. It just sounds... all these people just, or these ones where they're just kind of falling apart. Like the communication just isn't there.
Well, exactly. It's 100%. The communication is never going to work if nobody communicates or if only one person communicates. It's still never going to work. Mm-hmm. It has to be both-sided, complete communication. And it doesn't even have to be like in a relationship as of like, boyfriend, girlfriend, married couple, partners, like in that way. I mean, it could be your siblings. It could be your children. Anything. Coworker. I mean, no matter what, if you're trying to communicate with somebody, both sides need to be able to communicate or try at least. Mm-hmm. In the very least, try.
I think the hardest are coworkers. And the thing is...
because you can't just scream fuck off and walk away?
You can when they're family. Okay?
Well, yeah.
And we all work like we work with family.
Yeah.
So it's easier to say, no, fuck off. Mm-hmm.
Well, and they generally know.
Yeah.
When we've reached our limits.
Yeah.
To where it's like, all right, we're going to give them a few minutes to cool off. And then we're going to come back and we're actually going to talk about it. Yeah. So that fuck off and walk off is basically like saying, hey, I need a few minutes to cool down. I'll be back.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is like, if you have a coworker and they're not family, I think those are the hardest to communicate with. Because you can't lose your shit the way you really want to. I guess I think in most situations you can't, No,
you can't. I remember working at the gym and there was one girl who was just late all the time. And then she would call in sick and like post on her Instagram that she was like out paddleboarding on the lake and stuff. It used to drive me absolutely nuts. Absolutely crazy. Mm-hmm. And her excuse for being late, she was late all the time. And it was different. It was varied excuses. And it used to drive me absolutely crazy. And I had such a hard time communicating with her because she thought that her reasons were valid. Mm-hmm. And I did not. Mm-hmm. And there was going to be no changing my mind. And there was going to be no changing her mind on it, right?
Yeah.
So already I'm not helping out in the situation because I'm not even trying to hear it.
Yeah.
I'm just like, no, because you're late every day. And then the gym ended up changing her shift to come in a half an hour. She was always 15 minutes late. They changed her schedule to come in a half an hour later.
She was always late.
And she was still 15 minutes late every day. It used to drive me absolutely crazy. And to me, that's the thing is like, I'm like, I can't say anything to her.
Well, and
because I wasn't trying to communicate.
No, but at the same time, it
angry.
really wasn't even your place to say anything. It wasn't your job, but it just bugged you.
Well, no, I was her supervisor, and a lot of the time, like, it would happen, like, before the boss came in.
I know.
And so it was just like, hey, why are you late? You know, again. And then I would go, you know, let the boss know, and then, yeah. And that's why I like our situation now better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can tell you to fuck off and then come back and be like, listen, I'm sorry. I overreacted. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, in a way, it's hard working for family, but
yes.
But in the same instance, like having an argument with a non-family member that's a coworker, that's hard. You can't get mean and personal and, you know.
You can't say all the shit that you want to say.
Yeah, you can't, you can't throw a swing and be like, all right, we're cool.
My bad. I'll see you at Thanksgiving.
You know?
Yeah. No, I know. Well, and I also think, though, even on that note, you know, communicating with, say, friends or something like that is so much easier sometimes than communicating with family. Because communicating with family can be so hard because there's so much backstory for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things from the past that you either still hold on to or don't hold on to or whatever. So it can be even harder to have those conversations with your family because of just the abundance of shit from your past.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's if you go get personal, right? You think about it. If you keep it, if it's a work problem and you keep it work related, then you're not spewing over.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general of like having a relationship with people and communicating.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like in a work aspect. I'm saying like sometimes it can be even harder to communicate with like a brother, a sister, a parent, a child, whatever, because of just your whole past together. Mm-hmm. So it does get complicated in that aspect of trying to have good communication skills with somebody that, I mean, you walk in just ready to not listen.
Yeah.
Because you're already frustrated about something or something's reminded you of something else and now you're even more mad.
You're not going to listen to the bullshit you already know is coming.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you can almost, especially with people, right? You work with them and you have an idea how they're going to respond.
Yeah.
You're like, I know this motherfucker's going to say this. Mm-hmm. And the reason it's not valid is, so you've already had this argument in your head.
Right.
And you know how they're, just the way they act.
Yeah.
You know, the way maybe they deflect any type of like responsibility towards something. And most of the time you think, if that's the case, I'm not even going to have this argument with them because I know it's going to go nowhere. That's when you passively aggressively just start throwing their shit away. Tools, lunch, clipboard, whatever they got that's theirs, just start throwing it away. It'll make you feel better no matter what.
I think that would go under the petty revenge column and not the communication column.
Yeah, but if you know that argument's going nowhere, you might as well just make yourself feel good.
No, I do agree with that. I do. Mm-hmm. Because
you're not hurting anyone. You're just throwing their stuff away. They'll probably find it.
And they'll probably just think they put it in the trash in the first place.
I must have knocked this in there.
Or you see them looking for it and you're like, is this your shit in the trash? Like, why did you throw it away? And they're like, oh man, I don't fucking know why. God, let me go get that. You can throw their shit away, feel better, and then also help them find it.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot HR
great.
can say about that.
I threw it away, but you know what? I helped them find it. So
I didn't assault them?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm even on this one.
You'll prove it.
Yeah.
Make counter accusations.
Yeah. All right. 22 male, 21 female. calls me toxic when I bring up problems. She should probably calm down.
Yeah. She's only toxic because she's female.
Yeah. I've been talking to a guy for a few months now. We got along really well initially and just clicked. My family is super strict and I wanted their approval before starting any form of relationship in case we got super close and they said no.
What?
Kind of sounds toxic already.
Yeah.
Due to my family having some concerns about his age and career and differences in ethnicity, among other things, we decided a few times we should stop talking and then somehow always end up talking again. Eventually, we just started having a lot of arguments because I overthink and have a lot of doubts of if things are going to work out. I just don't see the point to keep trying when there's so many issues and he thinks I stress too much and that it can all be fixed with time. All my close friends and family who know the details of it thinks he's really bad for me. He likes acting like he doesn't care or uses the silent treatment, but when I try to end things because of his lack of care and communication, tells me to stay and I feel guilty. He's the first guy I ever spoke to or trusted, and I know I'm really attached. This recent time, he has said he'll improve and fix everything because he wants to make it work. But as much as I care about him, I don't know if I'm certain about him anymore. Although I have seen a lot of change in him, I just can't forget how he hurt me all those times before. Every time I mention how I'm overwhelmed and stressed and think I should be alone for a while because this whole on and off thing is draining me, he tells me I'll be fine and I need some time. If I keep bringing up how anxious I'm feeling about talking to him again because I feel like we'll argue and get hurt again, he gets frustrated and says, come up with something toxic when everything is going well, and calls me a leech.
So many red flags.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing is one that she needs complete approval from everybody.
The other
Because
one
if they
is,
got super close and then the family said no,
sounds
do they just get to say
religious
no?
in a way. Maybe religious. I don't know. But then his ethnicity is an issue, possibly.
Yeah.
But what's the difference in age? Doesn't say.
No, he's 22 and she's 21.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And there was another thing about the parents not liking his job or something? His career? Yeah. Due to my family having concerns about his age and career and differences in ethnicity, among other things. Difference in age, they're 1 year apart.
Yeah, I bet she's getting trashed in the comments. I bet. Because she sounds like one big walking red flag.
Yeah.
Fuck that. And then how she's like, this is the first guy I've ever talked to, and I'm super attached. Mm-hmm. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. And then I want to be alone, but then I can't. Or I want to be alone to, like...
Yeah, then stop taking his calls or his text messages or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of simple.
Yeah. I mean, there's like this great feature on phones and social media called blocking. If he continues, if you say, no, I don't want to do this and I need to be alone and I need to grow and learn and whatever, and then he keeps contacting you, you just block.
Like, I need a break. Like, you do your thing. I'm going to do my thing. Just going to take a break. I don't know. That's a whole lot of crazy.
Yeah, so she did answer one thing. Yeah, initially, that was one of my main reasons was the family. They think his age means immaturity, and I don't quite understand it until later on. I prefer to discuss and work through issues we have. Communication is so important to me, but he would just ignore my attempts at doing so entirely and treat it like a joke until I get frustrated. his response was always that he didn't want to waste his energy on it and that I'm just looking to argue. Yeah. His age means immaturity. I mean, they're a year apart. Should she be dating a 35-year-old when she's 21?
Maybe one of the elders in the church? I don't know. That's fucking crazy.
It's weird.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know where to go with it because it's like, run away, dude. Run away as fast as possible. Because all that seems crazy. You're going to invest years and years into this fake relationship. And then out of nowhere, she's going to be like, no, my folks made some good points, you know?
Yeah. So
I don't. We need to break up.
Well, and I don't understand how she had to get her family's approval before it got serious.
I don't know.
I mean, of course you would always hope that your family would like the person that you're dating.
She sounds like the type of girl. Sorry, I cut you off.
Well, I just feel like you do. You hope that your family likes the person that you're dating or the person that you're going to marry or whatever. But bottom line is if you're happy, you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would hope that a lot of people could get over it if they're like, you know what? No, she's really fucking happy with this person. So, you know what? Maybe my first impressions weren't the greatest.
Or maybe
I'm going to give him another chance.
Or maybe they look at it objectively and they say, hey, have you thought of this? Or how he acts like this? Or, the fact that you call me up crying twice a week, because of some stupid argument. Or, like you got to think, you got to look at the good, but then you really got to look at the bad, and be like, okay, this is how he treats me when everything's good.
Mm-hmm.
But this is how he treats me, right? He can't be like respectful or, just have a normal conversation, or it's an argument. And instead of, maybe blows up and walks away, or,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Well, and I'm sorry. I mean, she's 21. Yeah. They're both immature.
Yeah, she sounds like the type of girl, like on their wedding night, and they consummate their marriage, she's going to be in the corner crying.
Oh my God, that went dark.
Because
no, I know what you're
because
saying.
In her head, she's like thinking like, oh my God, my family told me not to do this. I just spent $5,000 on a wedding. This guy, isn't what I thought he would, like just playing everything through her head and then just bawling her fucking eyes out.
Well, and caring what everybody else thinks instead of what she thinks.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's her life.
You're 21.
You have to live well, but also the person that you choose to date, the person that you choose to marry, whatever, ultimately, it's still your life. You're the only one who has to live it. Mm-hmm. Yes, it can sometimes affect other people, or, they have to deal with it in some sort of ways, but in the end, it's your life. You need to be looking at if you want to continue with the person, not what your family thinks
exactly
you should do.
Yeah, and this guy should definitely reevaluate what the fuck he wants. And her too. It just sounds
absolutely.
crazy.
They both
it sounds
horrible for each other.
Yeah, it's like they're probably fighting, I don't know. I was about to make the stupidest analogy in the world.
Yeah.
So
well, thank you for not.
I know. I caught myself. It was so dumb. I caught myself.
I stopped myself from it. I think that's the one thing, it kind of goes back to talking about getting approval on the internet,
Mm-hmm.
In the end, it does not matter. It is your life and what you have to live with and what you're okay with living with.
Because you think about it, these 2-3 paragraphs, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's posting on the internet and strangers are reading 3 paragraphs about this pretty kind of up and down relationship. And she's possibly going to take some of this advice, good or bad.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that there isn't good advice. There might be some people who say, hey, you don't sound like you're ready to be in a relationship. And also, it's your decision, not your family's decision. You know, there could be someone who points that all out, but there could be some people who are like, love is love.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, it's just like...
But then go into the internet and post it. Maybe, I don't know. We didn't have the internet when, you know.
Okay, we're not that old. We did have the internet.
I know, but there was nothing like social media like this.
No, there wasn't.
Right?
Yeah.
So when you're in a relationship and you're 19, and say we were 19 dating and living together, and we had an argument, where the fuck were you going to post it to get advice from strangers?
Nowhere.
Thank you. That's exactly what I was getting
gonna
at.
I'm gonna go to friends and they're all gonna side with me because you were an asshole. I got my validation from people who were in a worse relationship situation than I was in. That's what I did. It's like, oh, your shit's fucked up? Let me tell you what he did. Oh, yeah. No, he did do that. Like, oh, yours was worse? Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, your relationship's worse?
Yeah.
Okay, mine isn't that bad.
Mine's not that fucking bad. I feel so much better.
Thank goodness we were the good relationship.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, that's so funny. Thanks for not running me over with a car.
Yeah. She didn't run him over. She just kind of
hit
like,
him.
Yeah, she just like whipped out of the driveway and just kind of like clipped him with like the front.
Did he fall?
Fender. Oh yeah, he flew.
We were both
Like
thinking
into
of
the
that,
yard.
right? When
Yeah.
we were okay, because that's exactly what I thought, and I'm like,
Don't worry, the cop was standing right there, and he said he fully deserved it. It was perfectly fine. And it was quite hilarious.
okay, doke.
I'll blink my way through it.
That's your problem, not mine.
I just told you about it. I don't want you to solve my problem. I just want you to hear about my problem and do fucking nothing.
Do nothing.
Because I'm going to blink it out.
Okay. You do you. Doesn't affect me. Except you're bitching.
Except you're fucking...
complaining.
Yeah, that I have to sit here and fucking listen to. All right. They're both 34. My wife is inconsolable.
I like how your whole theme today is pretty much communication.
Yeah.
It was good. It was really well done.
I told you. It was just on my mind. We had a great communication session this morning. We said nothing to each other. And then everything that I found was on communicating.
Yeah, it was a really good, like, half-an-hour conversation.
Yeah.
And then we did our own things.
Mm-hmm.
Great day.
I know. All right. My wife is really sensitive. I'm not saying this to be mean. But the 5 years we've been together, she gets heartbroken over anything that has negative context in her life. To make things worse, she doesn't like conflict. So she doesn't stand up for herself. Instead, she avoids what she can and breaks down when she can't avoid it. My job as her husband is to be her emotional punching bag. Not allowed to fix the problem regardless of what stage it's in. If I preemptively do something to ensure my wife would not have to go through something, she gets mad at me and starts crying because I'm making it worse. She calls me often crying because of something that happened. It could be a bad experience or just a bad conversation. What she vents to me is always worse than what actually happened. This makes me want to intervene. Then I find out that it wasn't as bad as she initially made it into being. I feel like she wanted to be the victim so she can complain and someone feel bad for her. This gets me into even more trouble because I'm not going to tolerate someone I know disrespecting my wife. I try to console her and say things like, "You shouldn't let people walk all over you." Then she gets mad at me because now I'm lecturing her. She further breaks down, telling me how shitty she feels, and I make it worse by telling her she needs to do better. which is what she got out of my comment. Then I get in trouble when I don't intervene in some circumstances. I don't know when I'm supposed to do something and when I'm not. I'm pretty fed up with this, to be honest. She's a sweet woman, faithful wife, and a great mother, but I don't know what to do.
Jesus. She sounds like a hot mess. If you called me every time you had a frustrating work call, right? A frustrating conversation over the phone. Like you had a bad conversation.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. If you called me fucking crying every time,
yeah,
I don't feel like I'd ever answer the phone. I'd hit ignore it and be like, she'll work this out. She'll
figure it out.
She'll have to figure this out.
Yeah. I know. Well, I don't. Yeah. Because I don't cry a lot.
No.
I couldn't imagine crying over having a bad conversation.
Yeah. Seems like there's something else. Like there's something deep down that like makes her like, you know how some people like, I don't know, you raise your voice, right?
Yeah.
And it instantly triggers like them getting beat up as a kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's almost something like that. That's what it seems like. That any type of like adversity in her life,
Yeah.
just triggers this, you know, fight or flight. You know, I'm being targeted. I'm being harassed. I'm being, you know, whatever. So it sounds like there's way deeper fucking issues.
Yeah, you know, well, and how he says it, he's just supposed to be her emotional punching bag. No, you're not.
No.
Which is what we were talking about earlier, is like sometimes there's just pretext to our conversation. I just want you to listen. I don't want you to solve my problem. I don't want you to comment on it. I don't want you to tell me what I did wrong, what I did right. None of it. Just hear me out. I just need to get it off my chest. I just want to talk about it. And it just sounds like this would be really good in that situation. And also, he's trying to fix his wife's problems.
Yeah.
I understand him not wanting somebody to disrespect his wife, because that's not right. And yes, I do think that there's a time where guys can step in, but that very rarely happens.
Yeah. I mean, like if there's a big issue with you, right? Maybe we're drastically different, right?
Yeah.
Because you're never, but like being your husband, I want to solve your problem.
Right.
I don't want it to be your problem. But if you literally are telling me, I don't want you to solve this problem, I just need you to listen, that's what I need. Or that's maybe what I need to hear to be like, okay, do not take this farther than it needs to be.
Right.
You just need to listen. Shut the fuck up. Listen.
Yeah.
And that's why sometimes we have to put that, you know, that asterisk in the conversation, because that's just how we need to. Because I try to do the same, you know, and you in the same way, you know. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of problems that you're never going to go try to solve for me.
Yeah, no.
But if you could, you would.
Yeah.
And same. Vice versa. But if you tell me, look, you just need to listen. And that's what, it almost sounds like that's what, because he's taking on all this baggage and like, you know, like maybe she has a conversation with a family member and she blows it out of proportion. And then he has to go to the family member and say something about it. And all of a sudden he looks like an idiot because they're like, yeah, we just had an argument over like where we were going to eat for dinner. And you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Because she made it sound like the whole world melted down. You know, that would be the frustrating part. And that's maybe he needs
and
to.
And it sounds like that is what's happening. And there is a thing called rejection sensitive dysphoria.
Okay. Make words up for anything.
I RSD.
Have you heard about it?
Yes,
Okay.
because actually, a lot of people who either have autism or ADHD can. It's not everybody who has it, but can really have this like issue.
Okay.
And it's basically like where you can. There's kind of two ways about it. You can go from 0 to 100% victim over a situation that doesn't really need to happen, or also you could, like, just in your own head, like it's not necessarily just reacting to other people, but in your own head think, oh my god, everybody in this room hates me, like what I just said was so stupid, and everybody, so
that'd be a hell of a way to live. It sounds horrible. Jesus.
yeah. So there's kind of, and I'm sure there's more than two ways to go about it, but it is like a real thing that people do, either internally beat themselves up over and don't ever really say anything, or they can go from 0 to that person just tried to run me over with their fucking car and tell the whole world about it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's a roller coaster ride
Yeah.
in your brain.
Yeah, it is.
Sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I literally don't even think twice about people. Like, someone could be like, what you just said was insensitive, and I'd be like, okie doke, and then walk away. Like,
I've literally witnessed you do that. Like, I don't like how you just said that, and you're like, well, I don't really give a fuck, and just turn around and walk away.
Like, I'm not here to validate your feelings.
Yeah.
You know, I can only.
Well, I think that you can end up going overboard with never being able to say a word because you don't want to offend anybody or you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and at some point you just have to say, you know what, like,
You sound dumb as fuck.
well, either that or just I just want to be like myself and real and just,
Yeah.
say stupid shit.
Yeah, I either say nothing or I say exactly what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Which has definitely got you in trouble.
yeah. So it's 0 or 100 on the span of, but my problem is I was raised to always tell the truth. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm, an adult, and I feel like I just always tell the truth. It's just easier, right? You get caught in a lie as a kid, and you're like, man, that was so much more difficult than just telling the truth. And now when you tell the truth, some people don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm trying to be maybe hurtful.
No, I just think that the way you say it comes across as just really blunt. Because I wouldn't even say like it's mean. It's not necessarily mean. It's just you it could even be just stating the obvious. It just comes across as really just blunt.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm saying, like, sometimes you just have to be like, fuck it, and just be yourself.
Yeah.
It's not like you're outright going out there trying to hurt people's feelings or say things that are mean.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if you were to go out and go about it that way, then obviously, yeah, shut up and it's your fault, and you don't go out and try to be mean to people.
Exactly.
But at some point, you're not always going to be 100% sensitive to every single person in the world's thoughts and feelings and opinions.
If anything, I don't say something.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to come off that way.
Yeah.
Like, again, right? I'm stating facts and truths. But I know that maybe what I'm going to say is going to the person's not going to take it the way. And so I just say nothing. Yeah. And then sometimes people are like, man, he's an asshole. He just doesn't say anything. Mm-hmm. I'm like, fuck, I just can't win with you. I'm not here to just prop your feelings up and stroke your ego. Yeah. Because everything you say sounds fucking stupid. I can't do it. Yeah. Which is why I'm either very quiet or I say something that someone's like, "Oh my God, that was so insensitive." I'm like, you should, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's
I try not to. I don't.
it's a hard line to even know.
Because I can't be in the middle.
Yeah.
I've realized that I can't be in the middle because I sound fake, and then I feel like I'm fake and I'm lying. So I either say nothing or I just say, the truth that I feel.
Yeah.
And you get that. It's not like, I'm not like out to hurt anyone's feelings.
No, you're not out to be mean or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, I get it, Obviously, I have to. I've been with you for like 20 years.
If you don't get it, then you're the problem.
Well, and sometimes, like, I've told you, I'm like, wow, that sounded really shitty. Like, you should go apologize. But for the most part, it's not. Like, it's usually just you trying to crack jokes.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I deal with uncomfortable situations, is I make jokes. Okay? So if 90% of the people laugh, but one person's crying, that's not my fault. Everyone else is laughing.
Yeah,
it's
everyone
obviously
else finds it funny.
funny.
It's obviously... I found it funny.
Yeah. I got my validation through laughs. This person crying obviously was weak.
They're just too sensitive. Maybe they didn't get the joke. Let me explain why it was funny.
It's because you're a woman. Let me explain this to you.
Let me mansplain this to you because I don't think you quite fucking got it.
Do you even know the definition of mansplaining?
No, I would really love it if you told me.
God, that's funny.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. Well, I think today was really good. I don't know. I didn't really mean to. It was just what was on my mind was talking about communication and everything. And yeah, I feel like people need to learn how to communicate better. And also just accept the fact that other people aren't going to think the way that you're going to think. I think some people think that they're really good communicators, but they're still frustrated. And what I've found in that is they're frustrated because the person didn't see it their way.
Yeah, and they don't have to.
Exactly. They don't have to. Being a good communicator just means that you're listening to the other person and then you're using your words to communicate with them. And you may end up on different sides of the road. It's okay.
Yeah, and sometimes a conversation can be one-sided. You don't have to make your point today. Maybe that's for tomorrow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. We don't generally have good advice.
I would never listen to me.
No, I would not take my own advice. That's why I see a therapist. And let me tell you, she does not validate what I have to say. She straight up tells me when I'm wrong.
That's why I bottle up my feelings and self-medicate.
I don't know. I might try going to the internet and asking what they feel I should do.
Well, keep it to yourself because I don't give a fuck. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening. If you like today's video, make sure and like and subscribe.